about 41 days away from Election Day. Former President Donald Trump and Vice President Kamala Harris are in the home stretch of their campaigns and seeking to become the 47th President of the United States.
A lot has changed during this election year. Madeline Salinas joins us live to tell us more about how these changes affect voters' anxiety levels. Madeline, good morning.
Good morning, Barbie. Well, from Joe Biden stepping down as a presidential candidate and endorsing Vice President Kamala Harris with less than 4 months till Election Day, to former President Donald Trump's 2 assassination attempts, Americans have watched a truly historic election season unfold right before their eyes. And while we're living through historic times, political and psychological experts say whether they realize it or not, it can cause a sense of anxiety amongst Americans.
If you've been keeping up with the 2024 presidential race, you may be experiencing heightened levels of anxiety. Professor Dr. Michelle Hollenbaugh at A&M University Corpus Christi's Department of Counseling and Educational Psychology says it's not unusual to feel that way. In fact, it's normal.
Election anxiety affects everybody. So it doesn't matter what political affiliation you have or how old you are, and it affects everybody in the nation, I would say even across the world.
Dr. Hollenbaugh adds that perhaps one of the biggest reasons why people have anxiety during election years is because of the uncertainty that lies ahead.
We don't know what's going to happen, and that can be really scary. There's also this piece of, in election campaigns, there's a lot of discussion of things that we should be afraid of, right? We are told we are supposed to be afraid of a lot of different things, and so I think people really take that to heart. And the other thing is that people are really passionate. They have some really strong beliefs and worldviews, and so it's really important to them.
Political analyst Dr. Bill Criss agrees. Election anxiety is a real thing. He believes that America's current political climate has a lot to do with the emotions Americans, regardless of political affiliation, are experiencing.
I think the country is more divided than it has been since the Civil War, or at least since Reconstruction. And I think people are legitimately concerned about the continuing viability of democratic government and our republic. Now, it's not unprecedented. The country has been more divided. But when you're in a position having to say that the country's been more divided, but you have to go all the way back to the Civil War, that's not a good thing.
Criss believes the main reason why Americans have anxiety about the presidential race is because both political parties have become more extreme. He says while it seems that both candidates are trying to move more towards the middle, he believes they both have ties that are holding them down.
I think what it basically boils down to is you got about half the population that's extremely suspicious of the other half, and vice versa. And when you have that kind of divisiveness and you have people who are actively undermining public confidence in the electoral system, you're bound to get anxiety.
If you haven't registered to vote, it's not too late. Texans have until October 7th to register to vote in this year's presidential election. We'll have a link with more information on how to register along with this story at KIIITV.com.